Dog.
And I'm PawzyPuppy.
And this is the third episode of the Pokesino Club podcast. So, what's new for you, Pokemon-wise?
Well, got a couple things. I recently set up my online card shop. It is now live. PawzyPuppy cards on TCG Player.
Wow, TCG Player.
Uh-huh.
Dang, bro.
It was actually fairly easy to set up. All I had to do was type in, this is my name, this is what I want you to email the verification code to. This is what I want you to text the second verification code to. I did have to have them resend the verification code, and it was kind of annoying because they take 24 hours to respond, and they don't just have a button that'll automatically resend the code. You have to email them and say, please resend the code.
Okay. Have you made any sales yet?
I have not. But in other words, for me, I recently, in fact, earlier today, I went to a card shop higher up in my state, and it wasn't a card shop specifically, but it was a general store. It just sells random things, and they had an entire shelf in their basement full of these 5 boxes of Pokemon cards. I looked through almost all of them, and I got 4 new cards from Fates Collide, my favorite set, and 3 new cards from Battle Styles, the other set I'm trying to collect, and I got 1 Yarny. A Yarny is the Pokemon cards where the art is by Asako Ito. All of them are crochet. I think they look really cool. I forget how many there exactly are. There's at least 22 or something, and I have 18.
Wow, that's great. That's great, man.
What's new with you?
Actually, remember in episode 1 where I said Pokemon has kind of been slipping away from me,
Yeah.
Well, actually, I've been doing some other trades with my siblings, and it's kind of been easing back in,
Yeah.
I got a Dreadnought V back from one of my brothers.
Awesome. Didn't you pull that in the Champions Path opening we did?
Yep.
Awesome.
I've been looking online for some other Pokemon stuff, but haven't really found anything.
That sucks. It's great that you're getting back into it, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I have a giant bulk of cards in a bin, and we're trying to go down to our local card shop to sell some things, and I kind of want to look at stuff and see what else I can buy,
Yeah, that's cool. If you can find anything cheap enough, because I know they are not cheap. Are you planning on buying any celebrations, a pack or 2?
Yeah, I've been trying because I want to pull some new cards, I looked at the Evolving Skies cards, and any pack that I open, I will be happy with the cards that I get because the cards are so cool in there.
Oh, I can make you quite a few trade deals. I've got plenty of cards from Evolving Skies and plenty of duplicates.
Okay, well, I'll think about it.
Did you know there's 237 cards in Evolving Skies?
I know, it's insane. It's almost as close as Cosmic Eclipse. 328 cards.
Is that the set with the most?
Probably, yeah, I think.
I'm also planning on buying some celebrations. I really want the Mimikyu promo, as I said last episode.
Yes. So, should we get into the news?
Why not? We don't have any actual news this week, but I do have a list of the most valuable cards, the top 10 most valuable cards in celebrations.
Okay.
So this information is from The Gamer. It was posted 4 days ago. The link to the article will be in the description, along with all other articles used to help out this podcast.
Thank you to The Gamer.
10. Surfing Pikachu VMAX, $19.41.
Dang, bro.
The first of 4 Pikachu on this list, Surfing Pikachu has been a thing in the Pokemon franchise ever since Pokemon Yellow's Hidden Pikachu's Beach minigame. They also appeared in the 20th anniversary celebrations on a Japanese promo card double pack with Mega Slowbro EX. Number 9 out of 10, Flying Pikachu V, $20. Well, Surfing Pikachu V doesn't make the top 10. Its flying counterpart does. So the VMAX is in the top 10 of surfing. The V is not. Flying Pikachu V, however, is. Another callback to Pokemon Yellow. It is an incredibly faithful reinterpretation of the original promo. Even the color of the balloons is the same.
Dang.
That's crazy. 8 out of 10. Pikachu, the full art Pikachu, $27.90.
Oh my gosh.
While the other Pikachu cards are references to the games in some form or another, this Pikachu is a celebration of purely the TCG by giving one of its most favorite artworks a full-frame reimagining. Originally part of the original base set, Mitsuhiro Arita's art was famous for having its original intended yellow-cheeked version, as well as an altered, rarer one with incorrect red cheeks. So the red-cheeked Pikachu is from base set is like a pretty rare thing. The celebrations Pikachu here has the red cheeks. Number 7, Professor's Research Full Art, $28.98. It's a popular card that has popped up a few times over Sword and Shield. The card was introduced to close a loophole in the game's rules, as people could run a total of 8 copies of the functionally identical Professor Juniper and Professor Sycamore cards, breaking the usual 4-card limit. What they're talking about there is the fact that Professor Juniper was a card and Professor Sycamore was a card, and those each had different names, so you could have 4 of each in a deck, which is 8 discard your hand, draw 7 cards is in one deck. And now all of them being named Professor's Research breaks that loophole. This is the first Professor's Research featuring Professor Oak and the other one, the non-full art in this set. Number 6, Flying Pikachu VMAX. You know how we've been going slowly up, like 20, or 19, 20, 28, 7, 28.
Yeah.
Number 6 out of 10, Flying Pikachu VMAX at $55.65.
Oh my gosh. Wait, $55?
$55.65.
Oh my gosh.
5 out of 10, Shining Magikarp, $80.
Oh!
It was one of the two first Shining cards to appear in the game, with it and its evolution Gyarados being used to introduce the concept. 4 out of 10, Blastoise, $94.95. 3 out of 10, Venusaur, $99.95. 2 out of 10, Umbreon Star, with a high jump from almost 100 to almost 250, $249.95. Could you imagine if either of us pull that? $249.
Sell it immediately.
I would too. And then finally, can you guess it? Of course it is. It's the one card that gets so many prints. Charizard for $300. $300.
Dude.
By far the most valuable card in the entire celebrations is based on the game's most valuable card, full stop. Base set Charizard has fetched hundreds of thousands at auction and almost single-handedly drove last year's surge in demand for the game, which I profited off of. I sold an Evolutions Charizard for a fairly high price. That's all we have on the news-ish. It's not really news for today. And because we don't have much news this week, we're introducing a new thing called Pokesino Stories. We're going to discuss different stories from our time of collecting. I will go first. This week's Pokesino Story question is, what was your first Pokemon card? I'll start. My first Pokemon card was almost definitely a fake card.
What?
Yup. So I was in 2nd grade. I had this like little blanket that I loved. I called it my Softie. And I was messing around on the way to school. My mom said I could take the Softie in the car, but I have to remember to leave it in the car because she doesn't want it getting lost at school. And so I was being goofy, and I put it under my little ball cap, and I completely forgot about it. At lunchtime, I took off my hat. Oh, wow, my Softie's in there. How cool. I showed it off to all my friends, then I put it in my backpack. At the end of the day, I was checking for my Softie, and it was nowhere to be found. And then this kid, I barely knew him, he saw how sad I was and said, "Here, will this make you feel better?" And he gave me this blue-backed card with a red and white ball on the back. And on the front was this little ball-shaped whale. It was a Whalmer. The Softie was in my backpack the whole time.
How long did it take you to find it?
5 minutes.
That's That's funny.
Yeah, but he let me keep the card anyways, and the next day at recess he was explaining. Here's how I can tell it was a fake. The card said weakness, fire, ×2. Excuse me, but I don't think water types are weak to fire.
Yeah, that's most definitely not right.
And he said, okay, so you see this weakness, fire, or you see this, the fire ×2 symbol? That means he can breathe fire.
What? Oh. I mean, it was second grade.
It was second grade. And then my family saw how much I liked Pokemon, and I think this is how it went. I was staying at my grandparents' house for Christmas, and I woke up on Christmas morning, and there was this little gift bag on my bedpost at my grandma and grandpa's house, and it had like 40 Pokemon cards in it. I fell in love with them. There were so many cool ones. The main ones I remember were like Wingull and Zorua and Skorupi. I forget which ones they were. Let me look. I know the Skorupi was Furious Fists.
Do you know your first like?
Hold on. I know what? The Zorua was Legendary Treasures. So yes, that you're gonna say what my first real Pokemon card was. It was that Zorua.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Because that was the first card I looked at in my little baggie. What was your first card?
You know this, but I'm just gonna explain the whole story because you got to explain your story. So, I used to be a hater of Pokemon.
How dare he?
But one day you had just got home from. It's funny. I'm telling you how your day went. Okay. So you had just gotten back from grocery shopping, or shopping in town.
Yep. This was when this was a couple years ago.
The first time we met.
Yeah, this was the first time we met. It was a couple years ago. We went camping. My family went out shopping, and you go from there.
Yeah, you come home and you're like, hey guys, I got some Pokemon cards. I'm like, what Pokemon? And then one of your cousins says, can you teach me how to play? And you're like, sure. So it was a deck, right?
Yeah, it was
the Darkness Ablaze Galarian Darmanitan deck.
You know it better than I do. I completely forgot it was even Darkness Ablaze.
And I treasure this memory. And I came and watched you and your cousin play, and I'm like, can I try? And you say, sure, let's do this. And I'm like, this is really, really fun. This game is Pokemon, right? Yeah. From then on, once I saw you play and I played with you, I'm like, this is really fun. I need to buy myself a deck.
Mm-hmm.
So I go into a card shop, and you are with me, and I get the Galarian Surfetched Darkness Ablaze deck.
Oh, yeah.
And my first ever card that I ever touched of my own was Galarian Surfetched Cracked Ice Hollow.
Awesome.
And I now have over 300 cards.
That's amazing. Want me to totally and completely outclass you? Okay. I have 2,218.
Oh, such a show off.
But like 600 of them are duplicates, and so I'm going to sell most of them.
Okay, so you'll be down to 1,000.
Well, if I sell all my duplicates, I will be down to 1,588.
That's still really good.
It's still more than you.
And yeah, that was my first card.
Awesome. That's really all I have for today. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, that is going to do it for today's episode of the Pokesino Club podcast. Links to all the articles used in the podcast will be in the description. I am PawzyPuppy. You can find me at youtube.com/PawzyPuppy. You can't find K-Dog anywhere yet, but you might be able to find him somewhere soon.
You can also find me on his channel. I'm sometimes featured.
Yes, he is sometimes featured on my channel. We would greatly appreciate it if you considered following the podcast, whether that's on Spotify, Acast, or whatever podcasting service you're listening to this on. You can email the show at pokesinoclub@gmail.com. Once we have enough emails from listeners, we will do a listener email episode where we just read listener email. But once we get too many, we're not going to be able to read them all. So get your emails in fast.
So you can be read. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you for listening. May Pokesino be with you.